Good afternoon, good people. Welcome to another edition of Double Innocence with your boy E-Dub, bringing it to you live. Dropping gems and taking absolutely zero prisoners. I did tell you guys that I was going to cover Katt Williams for an entire week. Today is day number 5. And I'm covering Katt for the last time for this particular week. That being said, I believe that Katt Williams stands on a platform all by himself. Him and Eddie Griffin, that is. Because I do believe that these are two of the greatest comedians right now, in this day and age. There was one specific comedian that said something about, oh, well, you know, Katt Williams, you're nothing but just a comedian. That's all you do. That's all you're known for. And I found that a little bit weird because when I was a kid growing up, my first exposure to a comedian was being exposed to Richard Pryor. But because I was so young, I wasn't exposed to Richard Pryor, the stand-up comedian. I was exposed to Richard Pryor in film. I tried not to miss any film that Richard Pryor was in. The Stir Crazies of the world, all those movies that he acted in. I tried my best not to miss any of them. But as I grew older, and I got an opportunity to see Richard Pryor actually do a stand-up comedian, at that point in time, Richard Pryor was a comedian to me. I always identified him as a comedian. Kevin Hart has acted in a whole bunch of different movies. He's played in a lot of different roles. He's played the lead-in part in a lot of roles in a lot of movies that he's acted in as of late. But yet still, when I look at Kevin Hart, I identify him as a comedian. So for anybody to take a shot at Katt Williams and say, oh, all you're known as is a comedian, I'm sorry. Any of you comedians that are in film, doing film right now, you are still recognized as a comedian. Steve Harvey has a Family Feud. He has a whole bunch of different things that he's doing. He has a show on the radio, all that kind of stuff. But when somebody mentions Steve Harvey, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? A comedian. Now, that being said, the shot I'm gonna take at Katt Williams is some of the stuff that he said could be a little bit far-fetched. I'm not saying it's impossible. I just know in my lifetime I've never experienced anything like that, so that's why it'll be a little bit far-fetched for me. Like when he said that at the age of 5 years old, he knew basically he had his connection with God, and he basically knew what he wanted to be at that particular age, or something along those lines. Now, like I said before, I was not there, so I can't say it's virtually impossible. I'm just saying, to me, that sounds a little bit far-fetched. 5-year-old being able to have such deep thoughts and being connected. I mean, my recollection of being 5, when at the age of 4, I was told that that's when you start remembering things. Like you'll remember maybe meeting your grandmother. You'll have a little memory of that. At the age of 4, that starts. So for somebody to be able to be that advanced in their thought process at the age of 5, it sounds a little bit hard to believe. Not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying it sounds hard to believe. Now, there's a possibility that Katt could have been one of those special kids. And if that's the case, then really and truly, that's borderline genius, don't you think? When he tells you at the age of a certain age, I don't know if it was 10 or whatever the case would be, that he had read the entire encyclopedia collection. I remember when I was 13, my mother would probably beat me like a drum just to read a page in one encyclopedia. Again, I'm just basing it on my own personal experience, and that's why it sounds a little bit far-fetched. Do I think that he accomplished the goals that he said he accomplished? Yes, I do. I just believe that there was a little bit of modification with the time frame. I think he might have accomplished a lot more of those goals when he was a little bit older. That's my personal thought process behind it. But again, I'm just giving an opinion on what I heard, and I'm kind of diffusing it to say, well, yeah, you know, it is possible, or nah, that really sounds like it's virtually impossible. Nothing's impossible in life. But again, like I said, I find stuff like that just a little bit harder to believe. But as far as everything else that he said, as far as everything else that he's touched, I think Cat Williams is right on point. And the messed up part about the whole thing is you'll have a great number of society that will run around talking about they appreciate honesty. But then when you get honesty, you want to classify it as being crazy. You want to classify it as an individual that's not in his right faculties, an individual that's taking hard drugs. You guys got to pick a lane. Either you want honesty and you appreciate honesty, or you just want everything to be sugar-coated and make it sound beautiful for your liking. On that note, all I have to really say is, Cat Williams, continue doing what you're doing. Stand for what you stand for and believe in what you choose to believe in. I'm going to continue trying to spread the message that people need to listen to the message that's being delivered and take a step back from paying attention to the person that's delivering the message. Share, like, and subscribe, people. Subscribe to my Double Innocence channel. Help that channel grow. I'm going to continue dropping gems. And I'm going to continue standing on the stuff that I believe. Double Innocence with your boy E-Dub is out. Have yourself a blessed day, peeps.